Tonight we're going to look at some of the plants I recently purchased, as well as look at some of my planted tanks. These are the fertilizers I'm currently using in the tank. I did manage to get some Easy Green up here in Canada. Had one of my friends bring it up for me, and I can get the Flourish up here. So we will review my room. Tonight I'm going to show you some of the plants that I recently picked up from a local grower here in town. We're going to do this a little bit backwards because I'm going to show you the plants in the tank, and then I'm going to show you the actual unboxing itself. The first plant in here is a nice Java Fern. It's so nice that when we come downstairs, my wife looked at it and actually asked if it was a real plant or a fake plant. You can see a bunch of the valve in the back and some of the corkscrew valve. Again, the same order that I picked up. This tank is recently just resealed, very terribly, but it's resealed. It's 55 gallon, and I put the Fahaka puffer in here about 2 weeks ago, and he is growing like crazy. He's eating like crazy. Tank itself has just got some of the plants from my other tanks, as well as the stuff that I just recently picked up. In the guppy tank, you can see I've got a bunch of it in the front here. It'll be moved to the back once I get it grown out a little bit, but again, just good quality plants that I picked up. Being in a small town in Alberta, I don't have a whole lot of choice for plants. Our local fish store only gets in a few from time to time, and our big box store, it gets some in, but again, not the greatest. You can see some of my other plants are a little bit weak in the sense of they need some root tabs, and I've just recently again put them in there. And I started dating the tank so that I know exactly when I did put the root tabs in there, so that I'm not going to get behind again. Again, this is one of the tanks that's been established for a while now, but still added some plants into it. The jungle val itself was well over 2 feet long in some of the tanks. Added it in, and I think that it just adds to the whole environment for the fish. I think it turned out okay, and I look forward to seeing it grow in. In the angelfish and bala shark tank, I finally found something they won't eat, which is this hornwort, which is growing quite well for me. And they haven't touched the valve, surprisingly. So again, that looks like I might have a shot at getting it to grow in there. The platy tank, again, looks pretty good with the plants. Again, I just really like this corkscrew valve. It's not something that we've had here locally, so I thought it turned out very well in the tank. Fish are doing well in here. Now that I took the puffer out, hopefully we can get a little bit of breeding going on. Not that I'm trying to breed for profit or anything like that. I just enjoy having the babies show up from time to time. I think the pea puffer tank is starting to grow in quite nicely, and one of them's even going to show himself tonight. This is again one of my newer tanks that I planted. Gifts for my children in there, but this is one of those tanks that's kind of a half circle, and it really distorts the alien head, and I think it kind of makes it look 3 times bigger than it is when you look at it from the angle, so it kind of looks neat. Overall, again, growing in nicely. The first tanks all have CO2 pumped into them. This tank itself has just low light, so we'll see what happens with it. The last tank I'll show you tonight is the discus tank. I didn't really add a whole bunch in here except for a little bit of the corkscrew valve. This is another tank that is low tech, just has 2 fluorescent lights on the top of it. And the new discus that I showed you guys in last week's video, they're coming along nicely. Yep, they're still peppered. I expect that they will always be peppered, but the tank itself it looks really good, and I think that the jungle val that is growing in here is actually starting to get a bit taller, so that's kind of exciting. Looks really good to me. Well, on to my second unboxing of the day, or unbagging. Hit up another local aquarist and grabbed some plants off him, so let's see what we got in the bag. Alright, looks like I got a bunch of corkscrew val. Asked for 10. Well, to add on to the unboxing the other day, I reached out to the local seller again for some more plants, and I actually don't even know what I got in these bags. So I've got 4 bags. The corkscrew val was pretty fantastic, so I thought I would reach out and see what else he had, and let's open it up and take a look. Well, first off, it looks like we got some wicked jungle val. That's pretty huge root structures on these things. Well, those are 2.5 feet long. That's pretty amazing. I'll break that up, I'll be able to fill up several tanks. Looking at the next bag, it looks like I got some more val. Let's take a look. So this gentleman was growing his plants under some highlight and with some CO2, and obviously he's having some really good success. These things are massive. So I'm hoping that in my tanks with the CO2 I can duplicate or replicate and keep these guys all going strong. Next bag, I asked him for any of the corkscrew val that he had left because I liked it so much the other day. So he gave me what he had left. So let's take a look. One. This stuff's just awesome. I really like it, and I think it looks fantastic in the tanks. So again, another 10 stems of that. And opening up the last bag, I've got 2 big bunches of Java fern. Huge rhizomes on these. They look fantastic. This guy grows his plants highlight, and I'm hoping that I can keep these all going the same as he had them. Living in rural Alberta, my selection is a little bit limited out here. Get my plants from PetSmart when they have anything decent, and the other local pet store, Animal World, the same one that D from down the wormhole shops at. He gets a few plants in, but again, not very consistent, so finding a local grower turned out very well. Look forward to seeing what these look like in the tank.
Hey, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Bye!